Right in the heart of Rome, Italy, lies the smallest country in the entire world, the infamous Vatican City. You've probably heard that it's home to the Pope, to some of Michelangelo's best works, and to a handful of conspiracy theories. So because we're already here in Rome and the Vatican City is literally right around the corner, we thought we'd take the afternoon to go and explore country number 14 for the next few hours. So over a month and a half ago, we booked a skip the line ticket with Get Your Guide. So hopefully we'll be able to pass all of the crowds as we enter. But we actually opted to not have a tour guide this time. I've done a lot of research on the history and we just kind of want to wander around on our own.
Hi, good afternoon. Can I see your booking, please?
Yes.
I think we just experienced one of the most seamless entrances into a very popular museum that we've ever had in our entire life. First of all, when we got here, there were so many people outside. I was so glad we had the skip the line ticket. So we got to basically meet our guide. She took us right inside and here we are now, like 5 minutes later. So like we mentioned earlier, we booked this with Get Your Guide, and of course, in addition to having tickets to some of the biggest tourist sites, they also provide guides. And I think one of our favorite parts is the unique experiences. So earlier this week in Rome, we had a pasta making class with them, and I think it was my favorite thing we did here in Rome. So if you are interested in learning how to make pasta from scratch with a local chef, we'll link it in the description box. But overall, Get Your Guide offers over 60,000 experiences in over 3,600 destinations around the world, and when you book with them, you know that you'll be in the hands of knowledgeable local experts. And everything you could possibly need just sits right on your phone in their app, including their 24/7 customer service. They do offer cancellations, refunds, changing the date, all the way up until 24 hours before your experience. So if you have any last minute changes, no need to worry, they've got you set. So we just want to say a huge thank you to Get Your Guide for supporting our channel, and now let's go and see the Vatican Museum. We aren't typically big museum people just because of the crowd that usually comes with the famous museums around the world, but right now I'm having so much fun just looking up at the ceilings because they're so beautifully painted, they're all golden, and it's the one place where there are no people. We are standing in a whole hallway of floor-to-ceiling tapestries, the most exquisite of textiles. I'm very excited because I actually majored in fibers and textiles, but a little fun fact for you, these were actually made with child labor, unfortunately, because the children had very small hands. They could actually do that beautiful detailing that you see in the tapestries. So unfortunately, a bit of a dark past, but a very beautiful final product.
We have now walked into the room I am most excited about. It is a map room. All of the maps were actually made all the way back in the 1500s, and apparently they're about 80% accurate, which is pretty impressive, especially because that was what, like 500 years ago?
I think I have just found my favorite statue here in the Vatican Museum. It is truly one of a kind. I've never seen a face like that in my life.
I think it's what Claire looks like when she wakes up.
That's pretty accurate.
So we're leaving the map room and we're about to go into the Sistine Chapel, where we're gonna go and see some of Michelangelo's work.
Yes. Maybe you know this one?
Yes.
The finger.
That one.
All right, the Sistine Chapel's right around the corner. We're not gonna film because there is a 3,000 euro fine if they catch you. So we're gonna put our camera away, not take the risk, and we'll catch you guys afterwards. You might already know this little story about Michelangelo, but when he was commissioned by one of the most powerful men in the entire world to paint what we just saw in the Sistine Chapel, he actually said no, and it took a lot of convincing. And when he finally said yes, it took him roughly like 4 to 5 years to complete everything in there. And then once he was done, he was like, oh my gosh, this is like the worst thing ever. I'm not a painter. No one's gonna remember the named Michelangelo, and of course he was so wrong. He's one of the most famous artists in the entire world now, but I just thought that was really funny because, you know, even creators back in the day, they didn't have confidence and they needed some encouragement to feel like they were doing something great in the world. What a wild afternoon in the Vatican Museum. I think we are done looking around for the day. We're gonna go and retrieve our tripod because they actually confiscated that when we were going through security. Apparently it can be used as a weapon. So we're gonna go get that back, and then we have to go ornament shopping because this is another country, and I actually am picturing like the perfect ornament. I really wanna find a cherub that we can hang on our tree, but we'll see what we can find.
Claire is on the hunt.
Look at the keychains. We have two cherubs before us. One is playing a pan flute and one is playing this little guitar looking thing. Oh, tough decision. Dun, 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 dun. Here's our ornament for the Vatican City. I have chosen the cherub with the pan flute, and it's gonna look so cute on our tree. Glad we got that done.
Before we leave Vatican City, I wanted to share with you guys a movie that I watched in preparation for today. It's actually called The Two Popes. It's based on true history. Obviously, they've made it a little bit more entertaining, but it covers the story of the two most recent popes that have been elected here. It kind of unveils a little bit of, I guess, the modern day problems that the Roman Catholic Church has. So it was really interesting to learn about. I feel like it helped prepare me for what I'm seeing today as far as being able to understand what I'm looking at and what this place is all about. Anyways, with that said, I don't think we're gonna be heading into the Basilica today because sadly this line is literally all around this square, and I think it would take us a few hours if we'd even be able to make it in at all. So we'll be ending our time here in Vatican City and going to get some dinner. Claire has been patiently waiting while I film that last section, walking through the main square.
Yeah, I've been staring off into space for 15 minutes.
Yeah, that last take took me a few tries.
We haven't eaten much today, so I'm very hungry. We finally made it to our restaurant of the evening. So under their spritz section, of course, they had the Aperol spritz, but they also had something called Hugo, and apparently it's got Prosecco, mint, elderflower, and all sorts of fun things. So we're gonna give it a try tonight. Whoa, that's like 20 times better than the Aperol spritz, to me at least.
Ooh.
This is really good. In our food tour video that we filmed just before this one, I was talking about the king of all cheeses, the buffalo milk mozzarella. And this one has come in its little spherical form, so I actually get to cut it open, which I'm actually very excited about. Look at all that creamy goodness on the inside. In our Rome food tour video, I feel like we missed out on one big thing and everyone was saying, you've got to try it. So today we are trying carbonara, and this is a pasta dish originating from Rome, and the sauce is made from eggs, cheese, and it's topped off with some guanciale. And then the second thing we got tonight is some fried squid and fried prawns. And the last time we had, I guess, fried calamari was over in Venice, and I loved it so much. We're gonna squeeze some lemon over it and enjoy a nice little seafood feast.
Well, we devoured that in probably 15 minutes. It was absolutely delicious. And in case you don't know, Claire and I always share our entrees. Like, we've done this for the past, what, 4 or 5 years now?
Ever since we met.
Yeah, ever since we met. And I must say, if you don't share entrees with your partner, I definitely recommend it, because you get to try a lot more foods. And so you both have to carry the burden if a meal isn't as good, or you both sadly have to share if your plate is just delicious. To end this incredible meal, we have ordered a tiramisu for a little pick-me-up. Got that coffee going. Cheers. It's like a pudding. After that delicious meal, we are now debating whether or not to get some gelato, because it is our last night in Rome. What do you think, Claire? Claire's very indifferent. She's pretty full.
I could go home and sleep, or I could go eat more. I don't know.
I guess we decided to get some, huh?
Yeah, we did. We got some pistachio and some chocolate. And this one looks like the gooeyest of the gelatos we've seen so far. He was like smashing it down and then recollecting it, and then he slathered it on our cone. Thank you so much for joining us in country number 14, the Vatican City. And in our next video, we're actually going to hop back over to our Italy series and continue with country number 13. So if you'd like to follow along, hit subscribe as we travel to 50 countries around the world. And as always, a huge, massive hug to all of our Patreon supporters. So with all that said, ciao!